Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here today. We're going to create a spooky Halloween card. We're going to light it up too, because I'm getting addicted with the easy lights from Pear Blossom Press. And we're going to do ink blending, we're not going to care how it looks, and we're going to do a lot of die cutting. So let's get started. This card is going to be 5x7. And the panel that I'm going to be working on right now is a watercolor panel, Canson XL watercolor paper. And I'm starting out with my twisted Citron. And I'm putting that in the center. And then I'm coming in with Mowed Lawn, just coming in around the outside. Again, I am not worried about what this looks like. I just want to make sure that my center is that bright, eerie green. All right. I'm then going to come in with Rustic Wilderness around that outside. Again, don't worry about the blend. We're going to have so much on this card that it's going to get hidden. We're going to do some splatters on this. So all of that just gets hidden. I'm now coming in with Prize Ribbon around the edge. I'm using a piece of scrap cardstock here. So that I don't get fingerprints on this panel. It's just something I'm starting to get used to because remember, oxides are a dye and a hybrid mix. They take longer to dry. So you will get these fingerprints and you'll move that color all around. I'm just going to finish up with some of that twisted Citron in the center. And now around the outside, I'm going to come in with black soot. Now, kind of covering the prize ribbon, but that blue is coming through that black. It's one of the things that I do like about the black soot oxide. It's not black. It's a softer black. It's a transparent black. It's really tough to get it to a black. I'm now going to flick water onto this. And you could spray it. When you spray it, though, you get these round spots. They're droplets when it comes out of your spray bottle. When you flick it, you get these streams. So that's why I kept on flicking that. Now I'm going to set that aside to let that dry. We're going to work on all of our die cut pieces, and we're going to get these ready. I'm working here with the Spooky Ghosts by Scrappy Tails. And I cut them twice, once from a very pale gray cardstock, and again from vellum. I'm going to layer the vellum on top. Now, the vellum that I actually use are for inkjet printers, and this works great. But what I also notice is the two very small dots of glue that I used are not coming through that, so I need to investigate that more. But I'm offsetting that vellum. So you are not getting fuzzy eyes, and my camera is not out of focus. It actually creates this blurred effect when you do that. I'm coming in with some black soot just on top of that vellum and just scraping across it. I'm now going to work on the die from Scrappy Tails. All of the dies, as you saw in the beginning, were from Scrappy Tails, so you don't need to hear me say that 10 million times. This is the Spooky Halloween Cemetery Gate. This has beautiful detail to it. So there's a lot. You could have those gates fold open. You can, there's also a die to put a lock on this. You can add lanterns to this. I did not choose to add those details. There's only the details of the bricks that I chose to use on this, because there's so many other die cuts that I have. It would have gotten lost. I mean, it would have added to it, but it also would have gotten lost. Coming in with the black soot, especially around the edges. I want that highlight to settle in the center of this card. There's a die within this that's just a strip of bricks. It also, as you can see, die cuts the outline, the mortar part of the bricks. I cut that from black cardstock. I'm going to set that in place, and I'm only going to set a few of the bricks in place. Now, this is really bold, this black onto, because I die cut the gate from, again, I think it's Fog by Simon Says, but it's very pale. So those black bricks are really jumping off the side of this gate. That's okay. I'm just going to come in with more black soot and just really start distressing this out. I know I'm not using vintage photo. Black soot's number 2, whether it's oxide or ink. Yes, same thing with the vintage photo, oxide or ink. Now, I also do want to give you, as you can see, we're going to light up this card. So I was conscious to not keep hitting the button. So just a heads up, there will be some flickering. I will remind you of that again later on in this video. These here are the Slimline Graveyard borders. Now, again, slimline, but that's okay. We're going to offset these. That's why it's nice to have that long length. I took a darker gray and just offset the black on top of it. This way it will show the difference once I start layering. From the cemetery gate, you can put words in this banner that's die cut out. So I chose, of course, cemetery. And I'm going to go around that with my black soot again. And I also layered that 3 times. I used the two that came from my original die cuts of the gate in the fog. And then I used black so that the cemetery would come through. The bats and the spiders are coming from the Halloween Essentials die set. And I'm layering these twice just to give them some stability. You know, with all of these pieces that I'm creating, there's going to be a lot of collaging going on here. There's going to be a lot of layers. There's going to be a lot of different levels within this card. So I wanted to give them just a little bit more stability as I could be maneuvering. For those of you that have seen my videos before, I am one that I don't put glue everywhere. I usually put glue or a foam, double-sided foam square right in the center of the piece so that I can tuck things underneath. So there's going to be some lifting some things and tucking these pieces underneath. I do not use all of these pieces. I only use a few, and of course the rest of them get thrown into a box that I have of all my extra die cuts. I like to die cut more than what I know I'm going to need. There are times where I could start on a 5x7 card and I could end up on a 7x7 card. So I got more real estate going on. Here's our panel, nice and dry. And you can see we didn't have a perfect blend, but you're not going to see it. Placing the gate and these layers, you can see I have a backdrop, then I put the gate, and then I put the first layer. And I'm adding these lines with my pencil, like these rays that are coming out from behind the gate. I'm going to grab my craft knife and I'm just going to squiggle. Now, make sure you take your time with this. You don't want to cut yourself. I do not cut myself here. You're seeing my fingers get a little too close to this knife. So please just be cautious when you do this. And I'm just creating these wiggled lines and so that they're looking like flames that are coming from behind the gate. This is going to be the openings where the light is going to shine through. You don't always have to have a square or a circle or something specific in the shape for your lights. You can create your own shapes. I grabbed a piece of my vellum and I'm taking the twisted citron and I'm just putting that on there. I'm going to come in with a microfiber cloth just to help dry that so that it's no longer wet. I'm going to use my liquid glue and I'm going to adhere that colorized vellum. Now you could also use an alcohol marker as well if you wanted to. And I'm just making sure that it's going to be flat on that card. So here are the lights. These are the One Light by Pear Blossom Press. They're easy lights. She's got the ones with the 3 wires coming off. This is the single light, and then Amanda also has the halo. I thought this one would be good because I have this one center point. Now these lights are very bright. Again, you're going to see the lights flash because I've got to test it. I'm trying to keep it in my hand. But you're going to, so from here on out, you're going to see this flash once in a while. I'm trying to get that one light set within those cutouts that I have. Again, it is an extremely bright light. So I could have put it at the base of the card and it still would have shined through. So it all matters on how much intensity you're looking for that light. I'm pulling in all of my die cuts. I've got one of the spider webs from the Essential Kit up in the upper left-hand corner. I know I want to use this part of one of the slim lines because I love that tree coming in. You gotta love those spooky trees. You know, I love spooky Halloween cards and spooky Halloween embellishments and spooky Halloween junk journals. I don't watch a horror movie to save my life. Yes, it's absolutely hysterical. So once I've got that first layer down, I'm going to put the gate in now. I want the gate, excuse me, to be between the 2 slimline borders. You can see that gate, it's 2 pieces on the bottom. So it was a little fiddly, but we just breathe and we keep going. The next piece, you can see that that gray helps to show that black more. I think if I would have just put the black on top of the gate, I would have lost some pieces on the side. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted each of these elements to be visible. This really isn't going to be a card that I'm going to give to somebody. This is actually going to be a card that's going to be part of my home decor. I love making these larger size cards for home decor pieces. I think it is a beautiful way to showcase your art. And plus my sister steals them. So I've taken a piece of double-sided foam tape along the bottom so that this last layer is now propped up. So you have all of these different layers going on. Now, I saw this was a little crooked. I let it go. You can hardly see it. Now that I've said it, you're probably seeing it. Taking the second spider web, and I'm going to have that come off the corner of the gate. I'm going to then put the banner that says cemetery right on top of that. It's going to give the illusion that the web is forming around the wrought iron of the gate. I'm now putting double-sided foam tape on the back of this panel. I'm doubling it up. And I'm going to put another piece on the bottom, and I'm going to put another piece up onto the top. I don't want to get carried away on the rest of it because I have those cutouts. And I don't want to create any other shadows. I'm looking at where I'm going to put my spiders. I first want to get my ghosts in place. I want to make sure that I'm not covering up the word cemetery. I'm going to have one of these ghosts coming out through the gate, and the other 2 are going to be sitting down in front. I have this trio. We all know, if you've seen my videos before, I work in odd numbers. Must have an odd number. So it's 1, 3, 5, and so on. I'm using only one piece of double-sided foam square, and I'm getting them set in place. I will fill in around them with the bats and the spiders. And one of the spiders will be the push button. taking the spider that has the web coming from him, putting him in the upper left, making sure it is coming from the web. I'm going to prop up this one bat with 2 small pieces of double-sided foam tape. Just going to set him right up on top. And now looking, okay, where can I put this last piece? And again, what's going on in my mind is I have 2 bats, 1 spider. So we have a third, a 3 thing going on there. So yeah, I secured the mechanism with a little piece of tape on the opposite side so that I could flip that panel over and set that down onto my 5x7 piece of cardstock that cuts, because that's going to frame it. The spider has been chosen to be the push button. I'm pulling in my white gel pen. This is by Arteza, and in a very squiggly line, I'm writing push on the side. Once that is all settled, we're going to set this on our 5x7 card base. I get my 5x7 card bases from Tonic Studios when they have one of their sale deals for their 6x6, 7x7, and 5x7 card bases. Actually going to put some stuff on the inside. I'm going to put a spider down in the right-hand corner with a bat up top, and then another bat down with that little spider as well. I'm going to show you this lit up with my lights on, and I will show this lit up with my lights off after we get our gems on our card. So just putting a few gems here and there. These also are by Scrappy Tails. Unfortunately, they are not available individually. They are part of the Halloween limited edition kit that she has available. So you can see the brightness. You can see where those flames are. The light is coming through. And with the lights off, you can really see that. I would suggest, though, if you're recreating, put that light down further on your card. I really put it at the base of those flames. I think a better effect would be if you just push that down a little bit and just let the light shine up through your card. I had a wonderful time creating this. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope I gave you some ideas for your Halloween cards. Have fun with them. I'm really getting into the whole interactive thing now. All the products that I used will be listed down below. And if you have any questions, please make sure you leave those down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I do apologize for the echoing that is going on, that I am sure that you are hearing. But I'm literally sitting here at a small table with nothing else in my craft space at this time. So it's a process. Absolutely. It is a process. So I do apologize. Enjoy your day, though. Have fun. If you haven't yet, love for you to subscribe, hit that thumbs up, hit the like button, and make sure you hit the bell so that you're notified when the next video is ready for you to watch. And thank you for taking this time to spend with me today. But have fun creating your unique art, and know that it is art always. But most of all, remember what's most important. Always be creative. And I'll talk to you in the next one, guys. Till then.